since the person shared the story with me, I've just been like, oh my God, wondering the length we human beings, the length of deception that human beings can go, all because of money. Wow, it's incredible. His child. How do you tell someone 13 years later that the child who he thought is his child, that he's been paying child support to, the mother, is not actually his biological son? He's been lied to, he's been deceived for 13 whole years. Hey guys, good afternoon, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Bridgie. How you guys doing? I hope you're doing well today. Very lovely to see you. I have a story to tell you guys today. This story is a real true life story. How do you tell someone after paying child support and believing that they have a child 13 years later that the child is not his child? He's been lied to, he's been deceived for 13 whole years. So this story is about deception that, some women get up to when it comes to this issue of child support. And it happened to a Nigerian Igbo brother who lives in the US. Now, this guy came to the US for school, like most Nigerians who travel abroad for, school. He came to do his master's in the US. He's in a medical profession. And initially, when I heard the story, I thought, okay, maybe he got into the relationship because of, paper. He wanted to get his document or permanent stay or resident permit or green card, whatever you call it. But apparently, he already had his green card before he came to the US because his mother, who was an American citizen, filed for him. So the mother filed for him before she now retired and went back to Nigeria. So he came to the US legally. So he was able to go to school, was able to work and do everything that, people who have green card are entitled to. So he came to the US for medical school, an young Igbo guy. And in the university where he was studying for his master's, or as you guys in America call it, postgrad, he met this African-American woman, African-American young woman. And, they started talking, became friends, and she told him that, she was previously in a relationship, but the relationship has ended because the guy who she was dating was in prison. He was sentenced to prison because he stole jewelry. He was charged with jewelry theft and was serving a prison jail term. So this guy and this African-American woman got into a relationship. Few months into the relationship, this woman came and said that she's pregnant. And she said the guy, this Igbo brother, is responsible for the pregnancy. I mean, if you've been in a relationship with somebody and you are doing everything, you're having sex unprotected, definitely when pregnancy comes, then you cannot, it will not be too far-fetched if a woman comes to tell you that they are pregnant for you. Now, it is often said that it's only a woman that knows who the father of a child is. And this saying sometimes may look as if it's insultive, but some women do confirm this quote quite easily, that they are the only ones that know who the father of their child is because of so many things that have come out, deception that have come out, so many men that have been giving children that do not belong to them by some women. Now, the guy took responsibility of this child. As a responsible man, he took responsibility. A few months later, she delivered and had a baby, a boy. And he was actually there when the baby was born in the hospital. He was right there in hospital, signed the birth certificate. Now, I'm going to drop in a word of advice. This is what I have just learned recently when, they were sharing this story with me. This brother is another Igbo brother that shared this story with me. He told me that apparently what happens in the US is that when you sign a birth certificate, whether you are the biological father of the child or not, as soon as you sign a birth certificate as a man, then you are responsible for that child, and the woman can hold you responsible and take you to the authorities for child support. So if you did not know that, at least in California, this is what happens. This is what I've been told. So is wisdom nugget there for you brothers out there who do not know. If you are freaky up and down and a baby is born, Once you sign the birth certificate, that child, you are responsible for that child, whether you like it or not. Now, the relationship was good, you know, they were together, living together, and the guy was nursing the baby as his own, not knowing that all this while that they were together, even before she got pregnant, this woman was going to jail to go and visit her ex-boyfriend, her so-called ex-boyfriend. She was still sneaking to jail to go and visit this guy. And according to, you know, the brother that told me narrated this story to me, in California, you don't have to be married before you are recognized as a couple. There's what is called the common law marriage or common law relationship. I don't know the word. I shall know there's common law in it. So they were recognized by the authorities in prison as the common law partner. So she was actually going to go and sleep with this guy, and this guy is also African American. This is the so-called ex-boyfriend who she was seeing on the side while living with this Nigerian guy. So it was this guy that impregnated her, and she now came and imposed the pregnancy on this man, saying that, you know, he's responsible for the pregnancy. Now, the minute this guy in prison, the African American guy, finished serving his prison jail term and came out of prison, this girl kicked the Igbo brother out. Kicked him out of the house and said she's no longer interested in the relationship, that she's taking her son and moving. It was later on that it came out that because the guy, the boyfriend who was in prison, moved to Texas, he left California to move to Texas, and she wanted to go and join him in Texas. That's why she suddenly said she's not interested in a relationship anymore. Once you have fathered a child and you are responsible for the child, and you know your name is on the birth certificate, you are legally responsible for the child. Meanwhile, all this period, while the other guy who is her boyfriend, as she was obviously still seeing, was in prison, serving his prison term, the Igbo guy had finished his master's degree. He got a job. You know, the job that he has is like medical doctor, not exactly medical doctor, but is related close to something like that he got. So he was earning good money. Apparently, the reason why she targeted him and started dating him to give him this pregnancy is because she knows that he has a good future. She can see that, okay, first of all, he's not going to abandon his child, you know, because a lot of men who come from Nigeria or African background tend to not abandon their children. Even if the relationship does not work out, they still want to have a relationship with that child. They still want to care and support that child, especially those who are doing well. They feel like, okay, even if they are not in the child's life, they want to, you know, send money to make sure that the child is doing well. And that is why this lady targeted this guy and made it seem as if he was the one that was responsible for the pregnancy, started doing fake relationship with him because her boyfriend was in jail. Boyfriend came out of jail, moved to Texas. She packed her load, took the baby, took him to court for child support. So the long and short of the story is that for 13 good years, this our Igbo brother has been paying child support. The person who told me the story now, who is in a dilemma, that he's just come to find out the truth that this child does not actually belong to this guy, said that he earns a good salary and he's been paying as much as $1,400 for the past 13 years. And that he started with $1,000 from there. You know, every time she come and say the money is not enough, she will go to the court again. They will increase it. They will look at his income and increase it. And that's how they've been gradually increasing until the money got to $1,400. Sorry if I'm saying pounds. You know I'm used to pounds because I live in England. Oh boy has been paying, calculate $1,400 times 13 years. That's what this woman has been collecting. Now, how did this story come to be? Another person who is a Nigerian guy that is dating the girl's sister. He's dating the girl's sister in California. Is the one that came to find out because the girl's sister now told the guy that, you know, my sister, the person that she says is responsible for this pregnancy that she's collecting child support, is not actually the biological father. He's the prison guy, the guy that went to jail for jewelry thief, that's responsible. So actually, this woman has been living with the biological father with her child and making another man to pay for the upbringing of that child for 13 whole years, and the child does not even belong to him. Oh my God. I don't even know how devilish you have to be to play this kind of, I don't know whether it's a scam, or I don't know how to call it, whatever game it is that she thought she's playing, that you tell a man that this child belongs to you, and you've been collecting this money because you say, oh, I'm the one looking after him, the child is with me, I'm the one, you know, taking him to school, I'm the one fending for him, and the guy is probably feeling guilty that it's not in the child's life for 13 whole years now because they live world apart. She's living in Texas, he is living in in California, and you are collecting this money every single month, and that child does not belong to him. The biological father actually is the one that is living with the child. This Igbo brother just signed birth certificate. Oh, no baton. That's it. That is the crime he committed. Not knowing that this woman was going to jail to go and sleep with her boyfriend. He just used this one to camouflage because she knew that money is going to come out. He's in medical school. He's doing postgraduate. You know, sooner or later he's going to graduate, and you know, so he's a milk. I'm going to milk him because yeah, money is going to come out of it. There is no way you can tell me that she did not know that this child does not belong to him, because she told her sister. That's how this brother has come to find out about it now. So this brother that has come to find out about it now is in Nigeria, is an Igbo brother. And he's saying to me, what should I do? I don't know if I can tell him. Should I go and tell him that this child you are paying for is not your child, oh boy? You are just wasting your money. This man that is living with is actually the biological father. You are just, you're just taking care of somebody else's child. And apparently, this person also told me that in America, once you adopt children, even if they are not your biological children, let's say you are dating a woman who has children, a single parent who's got children. Once you adopt those children, automatically, those children belong to you legally. If anything happens in that relationship and, you know, let's say the relationship didn't work out and, you know, you decide to leave or the relationship ends for whatever reason, you are going to be held liable for those children. You are going to be paying child support if they are under 18. You will pay child support till they are 18. And I was saying, okay, can he not go to court? And I was told that it's not an easy process. Even if he decides to go to court, it's going to be a long battle for him to, you know, win, just to stop paying the child support alone, much less getting his money back. I don't know if there's any way that he can get that money back. And I'm like, oh my God, this is deception of the highest order. I mean, I don't have a problem with a man looking after his child. We often complain about men who, when their relationship breaks down with their wives or girlfriend, they never look back and they don't care for their children. Thank God we live in a society in the West here where the law actually holds people responsible for their children. But for some women to capitalize on this and take advantage of it, to be using it to blackmail, or I don't even know what is the word to use now, to deceive and scam good people who the only crime they committed was the fact that they dated you, and then you tie them with a child that is not for them, and you've been collecting child support for 13 good years. So this Nigerian brother that came to find out about it now is asking me, should I tell him? Should I go and tell the Igbo brother that, oh boy, you're just fetching water into somebody else's tank, oh, and this tank that you're putting water, so na basket, oh, you know, the fool go just they put 13 years, so he has 5 years more to pay. When he pays for 5 years, the child will be 18. Maybe that's when she will now come and tell you, this child is not yours. I mean, how they tell the judge this matter? I don't know what to say. So I'm just going to end by some few warnings that this gentleman has, you know, be kind enough to share with me. If you are coming from Africa and you are coming to the West, especially America, please be very, very careful of the kind of woman that you are dating. It's very, very important, because you are a JJC when you come. You don't know anything. If possible, this brother is even saying, if it's possible, before you date any girl in America, do a background check. Run a background check on her to find out, is her credit good? Does she have a job? Is she, you know, career oriented, or is somebody that has no goals, that is not going anywhere, is just looking for, you know, different men to have babies for, and start collecting child support from 2, 3, 4 men? Are they looking for a man who they think he has a bright future, is going to be successful, so they can tie him down with child support? For a child that is not his, you have to be very, very careful. And then again, he was saying that if you want to date somebody within your tax brackets. You know, sometimes girls are always the ones that are saying, oh, date within your tax bracket, date within your tax bracket. Well, in the West, I think men should also date within their tax bracket. Because if you don't, when the relationship fails, then you'll be paying. And some men have fallen victim of this, that they've been paying for all their life. They'll be using all their money. They will pay for mortgage of the house that they are no longer living in. They will be paying spouse support. They'll be paying child support. Everything. They will be left with little. No wonder some men will just go mad, you know, because of the way they've been treated by some very vindictive and wicked women. Oh my God. So you just be paying. At the end of the day, you came to America to achieve something, to succeed in your life, but you end up, if God help you, you just end up working to pay for spousal support or child support. And it happens to women too. A lot of women too have been falling trap into going into relationship with men that are not within their tax bracket, and when the relationship ends up, they don't only collect, you don't only pay them, even your pension. Do you know that your pension, if a relationship breaks down and the man is not earning as much as you are earning, you earn more. Let's say you are a nurse and you are earning 150K a year, you're earning $150,000 a year. They will ask you to be, the man will not only collect, when you will be collecting your pension too. You have to pay him a percentage of your pension. Can you imagine that? Just because you decide to date for love, or you decide to say, okay, let me date this one. So it's very important that you date within your tax bracket. I am putting out there, I'm not even ashamed to say it, because at least if it's within your tax bracket, it will be fair when, if and when the relationship breaks up. It will be fair. It will not be just one person losing so much to the other person. And like I say, it happens to men, it happens to women, and it's not good. If the children are your own, definitely you should look after them, but it is very evil for a woman to give you a child that is not yours. This brother was telling me there are so many men, so many African men in the US that are paying child support for children that are not their own biologically. And that I want to ask you guys, because me, I don't know the answer to give this brother. Should he tell the Igbo brother that the child is not his, or should he just keep him to himself and allow things to unravel by himself? Will he be the bad guy, or he should just phone him and tell him, oh boy, I think you should go and do DNA? And I'm told that even the DNA, the mother can block it and say she doesn't want DNA because she wants to keep collecting money. Initially, my own thought was that he should stop paying the child support. He should just cut it off. And if she decides to take him to court, then she will now come to court, and he will now come to court and say, well, I've been paying child support. This is deception. She's deceived me to pay child support for so number of years, for 13 years, for a child that is not mine. The judge will look at it and say, oh, but you signed the birth certificate. You say, well, to prove the paternity, then the judge can order that they should go and do a DNA test to prove whether the child is his or not. But if he can get that money back, I doubt very seriously. So the query or the question here is that should he be told? Should we tell him? Should we tell him that this child is not his after 13 years? Or we should just allow sleeping dogs to lie? Share your thoughts with me in the comment section. Thanks a lot for watching. Please leave your comments in the comment section. Remember, I delete and block abusive comments. So if you leave me an abusive comment, I will delete and block you. So be very nice and respectful. I respect your opinion. Just put your comment without being abusive to anybody. I'll speak to you guys in my next one. Thanks a lot for watching. I love you. Bye-bye.